Good morning, family. Welcome to the SpannFlower channel. Today is Monday, September the 3rd. We're celebrating the Labor Day weekend, so I hope everyone is having a safe and happy, family-oriented holiday weekend. First, we're into our school spirit editions segment, and we'll be talking up a little football from the high school's perspective and from the college perspective. So, my co-host for this edition is Coach Sims. So, I want to say hello to him and ask him how he's doing. How are you doing today, Coach Sims?
Okay.
All right, that's good. Was there anything else that you want to say? Make an introduction for yourself, or are you good?
No, we can begin.
Okay. We ready to talk some football.
Hmm.
Okay, firstly, uh, on Friday evening, I attended a football game, high school football game, and I posted the videos on the channel against Morgan Park and Mount Carmel. Now they played at Mount Carmel High School facility, their football field outside their school. And the game was a very good game. It was a well fought game. I didn't have a problem with the game at all. But I did have a problem with the amount of, well, I wouldn't say a problem, but I noticed, and I mentioned it in the video, that there were a lot of students there, a lot of younger students there, and they didn't seem to have a lot of security there, and they didn't seem to be a lot of supervision going on there for the amount of children that they had at that game because it was very, very crowded. So they had a shooting that occurred after the game. And so we want to talk about that a little bit. So I wanted to ask Coach Sims, someone who's in the know about these types of things, what his perspective is as far as the high school games and the volume of kids at the high school games, and what is his perspective on it. And Coach Sims, I'll hand it over to you.
Well, it depends on what game it is. Rivalry games are the most intense games because when you have one school that don't like another school, you might have that friction.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, some of these facilities, such as maybe Ecclesall Stadium, where you're not even being wanded or properly searched, you just pay and go in. That kind of bothers me because the lack of security in all these facilities should be upgraded. It should even be no less. It should be no less than maybe 10, maybe 15 securities at one of these games because the lack of searching before someone gets in the game is a volatile situation because once a person get in, they got a weapon, you never know what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lack of security at these games. It's just unreal. I mean, the violence that goes on, all these young people out. It's just I just understand that the funding, all the money these schools getting, and why they don't try to safeguard against these type of situations. It's bad enough that they're doing this teen takeovers out downtown and all this other mess, but what about guarding what's going on in our schools at these games?
Well, that's an excellent point. And let me just say, at the game itself, because I was there with a friend, and we were videoing and doing what we needed to do for the game, but they had lots of things that were friendly for families to do. They were grilling outside. They had raffles, selling popcorn. I mean, they were doing
Yes,
the normal
yes.
things that people would do at these games. So it was a friendly event. And it didn't seem to be any ruckus inside of the game per se. But, you did have a little rowdy here and there. But I just felt like I didn't really see a lot of police cars out front, and I didn't know if they had
Hmm.
plainclothes security in the building or not. And so we weren't searched when we came into the facility. We came in, we purchased our tickets at the ticket box window, and then we came into the game. So I'm wondering, is there something that maybe needs to be changed with that, especially when you have such a high volume of games that's going to be played at
Why not be consistent? Why not to have the same protocol that you do at Gately Stadium that you do all these stadiums? Because in Gately, You get one and you get your bag searching before you can go in the event. They have a lot of security, and I don't know how Gately got all this security and do what they're supposed to when you go to all these other facilities. It's not happening.
Okay. So maybe that's something that we need to take up, or maybe just write a little letter about, because, I don't think that they were anticipating anything like this happening at that school, at Mount Carmel High School. I really didn't.
No, they anticipate. Come on, now. That's one of the biggest games of the year. That's one of the biggest games of the year, rivalry games of the year. So they knew.
Okay.
They knew that they should have more security there.
Okay.
They should have at least the blue lights or a couple cars going down the street. Try to deter some of this stuff. Try to move people on. Once the game's over, people don't go straight to their vehicles and leave. People like to mingle, talk, and that's where you get all these big crowds and stuff. And
So let me ask this question. So is this a situation where kids hang out at these games unsupervised? Because it was a night game. And a lot of these kids, what are they, freshmen, sophomore? What are they, 13, 14 years old?
They always
Where the parents at?
They always unsupervised. When games happen, students follow where the game goes.
Okay.
Their parents don't. It may be a rare event where you see all the parents come with the kids. No. When school let out, the kids go to the games. They either get bused or they take the bus to the games. Everybody comes from different areas, especially to these big games.
Well, what I'm going to do, because I would like to have some answers, so I'm going to follow up about this with CPS. I have a person that I'm going to contact, and I'm going to ask questions, because in a situation like that where you have so many kids involved, gunshots, stampedes, all of that could occur. And I know that no one wants to see their kids or loved ones or anyone being injured or hurt. So there needs to be some follow-up done on that. And also we want to offer our well wishes and our prayers to those young persons that
to the
were
15-year-old young man and the 16-year-old young lady.
Yes.
The one was shot in the foot, and the gentleman was shot in the stomach. I think I did an update on it. It was he's still in critical condition.
Okay.
He's at Comer Hospital.
Okay, so we at Comer Hospital over there at the University of Chicago.
Yes.
Okay, well that's right down the street from the school, so thank God it's all in the same area. So we want to send out our prayers to the families and just to the students and just to everyone involved, especially the young people that were injured.
Yes.
And yet again, we have another black female and a black male, but I'm just been on this issue about these young black females being injured, shot, and having violence acted towards them. So that's something that we really need to pay attention to, because it's not only younger ladies, it's older ladies. It's just a problem in general. And just to open fire in a situation like that, and like the police haven't finished their investigations yet, and I'm hopeful. I don't want to speak out of turn until I hear what they have to say about it. So I'll give an update on it. I'll either put a comment on the page or maybe have a subsequent video to follow up on that situation that happened. And again, the violence at these youth events and just in general with our young people is something that we really, really need to pray on and monitor. So, and we'll just table the conversation right here for that particular one subject matter about the high school football game that happened at Mount Carmel. That happened between Mount Carmel and Morgan Park. And I just don't like the fact that it took away from the game itself, because it was a great game. It was a great atmosphere. And to have something like this happen and be associated with the game is unfortunate. So, all right, family. So I'm back with Coach Sims. We're going on to our second topic of the day, and that is going to be the start of the college football season here on the SpannFlower channel.
Yes.
So we are going to discuss three of our three games that occurred, and one of them I already talked about, but I want to go over it again a little bit, and that was the Chicago Football Classic, featuring Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils and the Central State Marauders. Okay, so the Central State Marauders won that game 24 over the 24, and the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils had 21. So of course the Marauders won the game 24-21 over the Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils. Okay, so I want to put that in there.
Well, I want to know who won. Who won the Battle of the Bands? That's what I want to know. Who won the Battle of the Bands?
We have to get back to you. I'll post a comment in there.
Oh,
I'll post a comment
yes,
in the
ma'am.
comment section and let you know who won the Battle of the Bands. So definitely will do that. But we do have plenty of video from over there at Soldier Field and talking to people out there that were in attendance, getting ready to attend the game. So we do have that. Now, Coach Sims, okay. Now, of course, I did look up some of the scores, and I don't know if your scores and my scores are going to be the same. So you go ahead. And you talk about the teams that you want to talk about as far as the
Ooh, I
college.
want to talk about Coach Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Oh, yes.
Well, since we're gonna spend a little time on this, let me just go on and get my games out the way then, because
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I just want to give a few little games. Illinois played yesterday over the weekend, and they won their game 30-28. They beat Toledo, and their next game is against Kansas. Of course, Michigan played their game, and they won 30-3, and they beat East Carolina, and their next game is against the UNLV Rebels. I didn't realize that they played. So something must have changed, because I thought the Big Ten schools played the Big Ten schools. Is UNLV in the Big Ten now?
You got every time you schedule a first game, you get a cupcake.
Okay.
With cupcake, I'm sorry, I'm going to say that about these teams.
Of course you do.
You get a team. You get a team you think will give you a little fight.
Okay.
But not too much fight.
All right. Well, the last game that I wanted to mention was the Northwestern game, and they lost to Rutgers 24-7. It looks like it's going to be a long season for my North Carolina. Yeah. I'm sorry, for my Northwestern team, because their coach is gone. They in disarray. I don't know how they were able to pull themselves together from the scandal that happened at the school. So with their athletics program and all of that. So I know it's going to be a long season for them. So I'm going to send out some prayers for Northwestern, for the Wildcats. Okay. All right. So, Coach Fields, you have the floor. And then if I feel like I need to step in and make a rebuttal about the glowing and charming conversation you're going to have for Mr. Sanders, I will. So you go right ahead.
Okay. Colorado Buffaloes won yesterday, and it was a great game. I must say, to see Deion Sanders' son step up and throw for 510 yards. He was like 36 for 48. That was remarkable. Then he had the two-way Travis Hunter. Not only Travis Hunter played on offense, he played defense with one interception. So I must admit, what Mr. Sanders has done when he left Jackson State and what he's about to do at Colorado, it's going to be an adventure.
All right, Mr. Sims, thank you for adding your comments about Mr. Deion Sanders. I know you want to continue along that line, so let's go ahead and have at it. Then I'll make my points of view known as to how I feel about the whole situation. So with him leaving Jackson State and going over to Colorado. So let's go.
Well, him leaving Jackson State was not a financial situation. Let's get that started first of all. He left because the limited resources, the ideology of what Colorado offers. So Deion Sanders, he ain't doing it for the money. Let's get that straight. This man is worth over $60 million. 45 for playing football for the pros, and $13 million playing baseball. So this man's not lacking for no money. So he's not doing it for the money. He's doing it for the love of the game to help the youngsters. And as far as him taking players from Jackson State to Colorado, no, you don't take players. Players follow you.
So are you saying that with the recruiting type situation, the players are going to follow the coach that they recruited them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if they love this man for who he is and what he stands for, and what he can help them achieve, Most players would gravitate towards that.
Okay. Well, this is what I know.
Okay.
On September 21st, 2020, when asked why did he choose Jackson State, he said because God led him to Jackson State. It's not about the bag, it's about an opportunity. That's what he said.
Okay.
Now, 2 years later, the Lord put it on his heart to not be there. I mean, like, these are words that came out of his mouth. So, all I have to, and as it pertains to the students leaving, he took 20 players, hit the transfer portal after he said that he was leaving. So they're leaving the historically black college that he said the Lord led him to go to a non-historically black college. So that is what my concern is. And what happened to the students that were already at the college before he took the 20 students? So he installed his son as a quarterback. Didn't the team already have a quarterback? Was there competition? I don't know enough about it. So I guess my point of view is that he took from the school that was, and he did bring the I'm sorry, let me say, he borrowed. Well, whatever you want to call it, the students went to the historically black college, which was Jackson State, and then ended up leaving the historically black college and went to a college that was not historically black. And I thought that this is what he said he was going to do. So I guess we're going to agree to disagree on this, but I am definitely going to be watching the teams because, as I said before, Jackson State did win their game. They've played 2 games so far, and they're 1-1 in their record. After all the turmoil and everything that team had to go through to reestablish themselves after this kerfuffle, I would say, So they have a 1-1. Yeah. So they have a 1-1 record. So, I mean, because they've already played 1 game. So we'll play it by ear to see what happens with that. So we'll be keeping our eyes on that. We'll be keeping our eyes on Illinois, Michigan. Of course, we're going to talk about the SEC, but these were our games and focus for this week, audience. So they're going to change every week. So we hit the Pac-10, we'll hit the Big Ten, the SEC. I mean, the East Coast. I mean, we'll hit it all. So just give us a moment on that. Also, family, before we move on to our next topic, which is professional sports, let me just add, Mr. Sims, Coach Sims, you had something else you wanted to add to the discussion?
I just want to mention that Colorado's next game is going to be on September the 9th, Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on Fox.
All right.
They'll be playing against the Cornhuskers.
Oh, that should be a great one.
Yeah, and it's going to be our home game, the first home game. So you know it's going to be rocking.
Well, definitely, I'm going to mention up Jackson State because I'm going to ride with the underdogs in this matter. And they have their next game on September the 9th as well. And they will be playing Southern U. So those are going to be our 2 teams in spotlight to watch for. Our two teams to watch for as we go forward. So now we want to transition over to a little bit of professional football, and the football season is starting on September the September the 7th, actually, because
go Chiefs.
Because the Chiefs play the Lions, and I think the Lions can win this game. Yeah, you can laugh all you want to. They gonna get egg on their face. I feel the Lions can win this game. Okay. Not that I want them to win because they're in the same division with the Bears. So of course we never want the teams in the division with the Bears, which are the Bears, the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. So we don't want nobody in that division winning but the Bears, okay? So let's get that clear.
The Bears play the Packers this Sunday, the 10th. So yeah, we'll make sure we toss that out there. They play 3 o'clock?
Oh yes, they do. Okay. And I do have those time frames. So let me get to them. Because yes,
that'll be on Fox, right?
Yes, it will. So let me just give you the up-and-coming games that we watch, the professional football games that we watching. The kickoff of the NFL season is going to start. The Detroit Lions will be at the Kansas City Chiefs. It will be on NBC September the 7th at 7:20 p.m. Note, the head coach, Andy Reid, of course, and we'll get the team ranking office later on in the week. So because we're going to be discussing it for the whole week leading up into football Sunday. Also, the Green Bay Packers will be at the Chicago Bears. They will be playing on Fox September the 10th at 3:25 p.m. And so we're going to see what they can do with that. We'll have all the stats and all the information that you need about the quarterback, Justin Fields, and the head coach, and where the offense was, where the defense was,
Yes.
and what we think.
Let me interject something right quick. Bears got to do a lot better this year because with that 3-14 record last year, they need to turn it around because their total defense they were 32 in the league. Total offense they were 29th in the league. So I hope they turn around this year.
Well, they had an awful lot of money and they had a lot of draft picks, so hopefully that really did something with that. We'll see. The proof will be in the pudding when the season starts. Now, the final game.
Well, I hope their offensive line protects Mr. Fields this year.
Yeah, that's true because he was getting beat up pretty bad last year. Last season, I'll say that.
Talk about your Cowboys.
Now, the most important game,
oh my God,
which is my Dallas Cowboys that will be at the New York Giants. Of course, the Giants are in the same division with the Cowboys, so we never want to see the Giants winning when they playing the Cowboys. Okay, if they play anybody that might give a benefit to the Cowboys, we want them to win. If it's the Cowboys, no, we don't. They will be ending the night. They will have the nightcap game on Sunday on NBC at 7:20. And of course, we want to see if Mike McCarthy, now that he's doing play calling duties, since they sent their offensive coordinator to the San Diego Chargers. So I want to see if Mike McCarthy can handle that task. Now, I have his coaching methods have been suspect to me, especially with all these timeouts and the kicker not kicking the kicks, and all. It just was a debacle last year. So,
but you know, the Cowboys going to do because they're projected 6th in the NFL in the standings. Their total defense, they were number 6 in total defense.
They had a great defense,
and in total offense, they were number 10.
Okay.
So they got a chance to win their conference.
Their NFC. Their division is the NFC East.
Okay.
And they're in a division with the Eagles, the Giants, and the Washington Redskins. Now, you know the Washington Redskins just got that I think Magic Johnson and his organization are part owners of the Redskins. Of the Commanders. Okay. Please forgive us, audience, or forgive me if I said their old name. That's inappropriate name, so we have to use the correct language, which is the Commanders. So we want to make sure that I'm clarifying that. So big ups, oopsie on my part. So my apologies if I offended anyone. So yes, so we want to check on that, and of course we definitely gonna be looking into the AFC West because you got Sean Payton who's gonna be coaching the Denver team. Oh God. I'm having a mental break.
So for you have a mental breakdown. What do you think the Cowboys gonna finish this year?
What? They going to the Super Bowl. Don't play. Do not play.
They go to what?
They have no reason why they cannot go to the Super Bowl this year.
They go to the Chili Bowl? What you say?
Yeah, I ain't say no Chili Bowl. I said the Super Bowl. Don't play with my Cowboys, okay? So we don't want to have a falling out right at the beginning of the season, Coach Sims. Let's not go there about the Cowboys now.
Let's see how they dance past the Giants.
Well, they should beat the Giants. Dak Prescott has a great record against the NFC East, so we should see.
Yeah, but they're gonna have their hands full because I believe Mrs. Saquon Barkley is back on the helm. So,
well, we'll see. He has an injury or two every year, so we have to check in on him. And I'm not wishing that on him or anything, but until they can beat Dak, I'm not gonna. Until they can beat the quarterback of the Cowboys, Dak Prescott, I'm not.
Because you just said that about Mr. Barkley, he's gonna run 200 yards.
Oh he might, but as long as Dak can throw for 400, or they running back, because they got some dogs back there. So I don't know. Their defense should be, healthy and everything, so they should be able to rush the passer and do what they need to do. Daniel Jones, I'm not sold on him as quarterback.
11 for the Cowboys.
Parsons, yes.
He's a beast.
He is.
He's a beast. I would give the Cowboys that. They did get a gem in there, but
I thought their defensive coach, and these names escape my mind because I normally know him offhand. He was the coach of the oh God, he was the coach of the Atlanta Falcons. What was the man's name? Dan. Wait, I'll get that and put it in the comments. I'm so sorry. I'm having mental.